In the bustling heart of a city, where hurried footsteps echoed against concrete walls, lived a girl named Lila. Her beauty was undeniable, but it was her arrogance that cast a shadow over her delicate features. She moved through life with a sense of entitlement, blind to the kindness around her. One sunny afternoon, as Lila browsed a boutique, her wallet slipped from her grasp. It tumbled to the floor, scattering coins and cards. A young man named Kai, with eyes as warm as the sun, noticed the mishap. He bent down, picked up the wallet, and tapped Lila on the shoulder. "Excuse me," he said, holding out the wallet. "You dropped this." Lila's eyes narrowed suspiciously. "Did you steal it?" she snapped. Kai's smile faltered, hurt flashing across his face. "No," he replied softly. "I found it on the ground." But Lila's arrogance knew no bounds. She accused him of theft, hurling insults like shards of glass. The people around them exchanged glances. Some shook their heads, others sighed. Among them stood an old man, his eyes crinkled with wisdom. He stepped forward, his voice gentle yet firm. "Young lady," he said to Lila, "kindness is a treasure more valuable than gold. You've mistaken this young man's intentions." Lila scoffed. "Kindness? What's that got to do with anything?" The old man's gaze softened. "Everything," he replied. "You see, Kai didn't steal your wallet. He picked it up because he believed in compassion. And you? You discarded it like trash." Lila's cheeks flushed, shame creeping in. She glanced at Kai, who still held the wallet. His eyes held no anger, only understanding. The old man continued, "Life teaches us lessons, my dear. Sometimes we're the arrogant girl blind to the goodness around us. Other times we're Kai, the one who extends a helping hand without expecting anything in return." Lila's heart stirred. She took the wallet from Kai's outstretched hand. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Kai smiled, forgiveness in his eyes. "No need to apologize. Just remember this. Beauty fades, but kindness endures." From that day on, Lila changed. She volunteered at shelters, listened to strangers' stories, and discovered the joy of compassion. And in her transformation, she found true beauty, the kind that radiates from within. So, my friend, let us learn from Lila's journey. May we never discard kindness like a forgotten wallet. For in the tapestry of life, it's the threads of compassion that weave the most beautiful stories. In a cozy family home, where laughter and love abound, there lived a mischievous 8-year-old boy named Sam. Sam had a big heart but a tendency to get into trouble with his playful pranks. One day, he decided to play a trick on his older sister, Anna. The family living room. Sam has just been caught playing a prank on Anna by putting glue on her chair. Anna is upset, and Mom and Dad are sitting on the couch watching the scene unfold. Sam's prank had left Anna fuming. She stood there, arms crossed, glaring at her younger brother, who was grinning mischievously. Mom and Dad knew it was time for another lesson in empathy. The conversation went thus. Mom: "Sam, why did you put glue on Anna's chair?" Sam: "I thought it would be funny." Mom sighed, her patience wearing thin but her love unwavering. Dad: "But look at Anna. She's upset. How would you feel if someone did that to you?" Sam: "I didn't mean to make her mad. I just wanted to have some fun." Anna: "Well, it's not fun for me." Mom: "Sam, we love your sense of humor, but there's a difference between having fun and hurting others. How would you feel if you were the one stuck to the chair?" Narrator: Sam's smile faded as he realized the impact of his actions. He looked down, feeling a pang of guilt. Sam: "I guess I'd be pretty mad too." Dad: "It's important to think about how our actions affect others. Remember when you shared your toys with the new kid at school and made a new friend? That was a kind thing to do. You can use your creativity to make others happy, not sad." Narrator: Sam nodded slowly, understanding dawning on him. He glanced at Anna, his eyes full of regret. Sam. I didn't think of it that way. I'm sorry, Anna. Anna. It's okay, Sam. Just please, no more glue. Narrator. Mom and Dad exchanged a hopeful glance. They knew this was a teaching moment that could change Sam's behavior for the better. Mom. How about this? Let's come up with fun and kind ways to use your creativity. Maybe you can help us make a surprise for Anna to make up for today? Sam. Like what? Dad. How about we make a special card for Anna with some of your best jokes, but ones that make her laugh in a good way? Sam. Yeah, that sounds great. I'm really good at drawing funny pictures. Anna. I'd like that, Sam. And so, the family spent the evening together, turning a moment of mischief into an opportunity for kindness and connection. Sam poured all his creativity into making a special card for Anna, filled with funny drawings and kind words. Moral lesson. This story teaches us the importance of empathy and understanding. Sam learned that while having fun is important, it should never come at the expense of others' feelings. By thinking about how his actions affected his sister, Sam discovered the value of kindness and consideration. In our daily lives, balancing our sense of fun with empathy ensures our actions bring joy and not harm. Through understanding and compassion, we can strengthen our relationships and create a more harmonious environment. The Journey of Hearts. Chapter 1. The Dreamer and the Protector. In the idyllic village of Elmsworth, surrounded by rolling hills and vibrant meadows, lived two best friends, Clara and Benjamin. Clara was a dreamer, always lost in her thoughts and scribbling stories in her worn-out notebook. Her emerald eyes sparkled with imagination, and her laughter was like music that brightened the village. Benjamin, on the other hand, was her steadfast protector. With his broad shoulders and kind brown eyes, he was always there to support Clara, no matter how wild her dreams seemed. Clara and Benjamin had grown up together, their houses standing side by side on the village's cobbled streets. From climbing trees to exploring hidden trails, they shared countless adventures. Clara's parents had passed away when she was very young, and Benjamin's family had embraced her as one of their own. They were inseparable, like two sides of the same coin. Clara dreamed of becoming a writer, her stories bringing light to people's lives. She would often read her tales to Benjamin, who listened intently, always encouraging her to pursue her passion. Benjamin's dream was simpler. He wanted to ensure Clara's happiness. He found joy in her joy and pain in her pain. Their hearts intertwined in a bond that seemed unbreakable. One summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Clara and Benjamin sat by the riverbank. Clara was particularly quiet, her gaze fixed on the flowing water. "Penny, for your thoughts?" Benjamin asked gently. Clara sighed. "I've been thinking about leaving Elmsworth." Benjamin's heart skipped a beat. "Leaving? Why?" "I love our village, but I feel like there's so much more out there, so many stories waiting to be written," Clara replied, her eyes shining with determination. "I want to experience the world, Ben. I want to live my stories, not just imagine them." Benjamin felt a pang of fear at the thought of Clara leaving. He knew how much her dreams meant to her, but the idea of life without her was unbearable. Still, he managed a supportive smile. "If that's what you want, Clara, then you should go for it. I'll always be here for you." Clara's face lit up with a grateful smile, and she hugged Benjamin tightly. "Thank you, Ben. Your support means everything to me." Chapter 2. The Big City. With Benjamin's blessing, Clara left Elmsworth a few weeks later, heading for the bustling city of Anderton. The city was a stark contrast to the serene village she had known all her life. It was loud, fast-paced, and full of opportunities. Clara was both exhilarated and overwhelmed. She found a small apartment and took up a job as a waitress to pay her bills while she worked on her writing. Every night she would sit by her window gazing at the city lights and pour her heart into her stories. She sent her manuscripts to various publishers, hoping for a breakthrough. Months passed, and the city began to take its toll on Clara. Rejections piled up and her savings dwindled. The loneliness was the hardest part. She missed the comforting presence of Benjamin, his unwavering support, and the familiar sights of Elmsworth. But she pushed on, determined not to give up on her dreams. One cold winter evening, as Clara was returning from work, she found a letter slipped under her apartment door. It was from Benjamin. Her heart leaped with joy as she tore it open. "Dear Clara, I hope this letter finds you well. Elmsworth is not the same without you, but I'm so proud of you for chasing your dreams. I miss you every day and can't wait to hear about your adventures. Remember, no matter what, you're never alone. I'm always with you in spirit. Love, Ben." Tears filled Clara's eyes as she read Benjamin's words. She realized how much she needed to hear that she wasn't alone. Renewed with hope, Clara continued to write, drawing strength from Benjamin's support. Chapter 3. The Breakthrough. Clara's persistence finally paid off one spring morning. She received a call from a prominent publisher who had read her latest manuscript. They loved her story and wanted to publish it. Clara was over the moon. She called Benjamin immediately to share the news. "Ben, they're going to publish my book," Clara exclaimed, her voice trembling with excitement. "That's amazing, Clara. I knew you could do it." Benjamin's voice was filled with pride and joy. The following months were a whirlwind. Clara's book, The Journey of Hearts, became a bestseller. Her heartfelt stories resonated with readers, and she received letters from people all over, thanking her for her beautiful tales. Clara's dream was coming true, but amidst her success, she felt a void. She missed Benjamin more than ever. The Journey of Hearts. Chapter 1. The Dreamer and the Protector. In the idyllic village of Elmsworth, surrounded by rolling hills and vibrant meadows, lived two best friends, Clara and Benjamin. Clara was a dreamer, always lost in her thoughts and scribbling stories in her worn-out notebook. Her emerald eyes sparkled with imagination, and her laughter was like music that brightened the village. Benjamin, on the other hand, was her steadfast protector. With his broad shoulders and kind brown eyes, he was always there to support Clara, no matter how wild her dreams seemed. Clara and Benjamin had grown up together, their houses standing side by side on the village's cobbled streets. From climbing trees to exploring hidden trails, they shared countless adventures. Clara's parents had passed away when she was very young, and Benjamin's family had embraced her as one of their own. They were inseparable, like two sides of the same coin. Clara dreamed of becoming a writer, her stories bringing light to people's lives. She would often read her tales to Benjamin, who listened intently, always encouraging her to pursue her passion. Benjamin's dream was simpler. He wanted to ensure Clara's happiness. He found joy in her joy and pain in her pain, their hearts intertwined in a bond that seemed unbreakable. One summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Clara and Benjamin sat by the riverbank. Clara was particularly quiet, her gaze fixed on the flowing water. "Penny for your thoughts?" Benjamin asked gently. Clara sighed. "I've been thinking about leaving Elmsworth." Benjamin's heart skipped a beat. "Leaving? Why?" "I love our village, but I feel like there's so much more out there, so many stories waiting to be written," Clara replied, her eyes shining with determination. "I want to experience the world, Ben. I want to live my stories, not just imagine them." Benjamin felt a pang of fear at the thought of Clara leaving. He knew how much her dreams meant to her, but the idea of life without her was unbearable. Still, he managed a supportive smile. If that's what you want, Clara, then you should go for it. I'll always be here for you. Clara's face lit up with a grateful smile, and she hugged Benjamin tightly. Thank you, Ben. Your support means everything to me. Chapter 2. The Big City. With Benjamin's blessing, Clara left Elmsworth a few weeks later, heading for the bustling city of Anderton. The city was a stark contrast to the serene village she had known all her life. It was loud, fast-paced, and full of opportunities. Clara was both exhilarated and overwhelmed. She found a small apartment and took up a job as a waitress to pay her bills while she worked on her writing. Every night she would sit by her window gazing at the city lights and pour her heart into her stories. She sent her manuscripts to various publishers, hoping for a breakthrough. Months passed, and the city began to take its toll on Clara. Rejections piled up and her savings dwindled. The loneliness was the hardest part. She missed the comforting presence of Benjamin, his unwavering support, and the familiar sights of Elmsworth. But she pushed on, determined not to give up on her dreams. One cold winter evening, as Clara was returning from work, she found a letter slipped under her apartment door. It was from Benjamin. Her heart leaped with joy as she tore it open. Dear Clara, I hope this letter finds you well. Elmsworth is not the same without you, but I'm so proud of you for chasing your dreams. I miss you every day and can't wait to hear about your adventures. Remember, no matter what, you're never alone. I'm always with you in spirit. Love, Ben. Tears filled Clara's eyes as she read Benjamin's words. She realized how much she needed to hear that she wasn't alone. Renewed with hope, Clara continued to write, drawing strength from Benjamin's support. Chapter 3. The Breakthrough. Clara's persistence finally paid off one spring morning. She received a call from a prominent publisher who had read her latest manuscript. They loved her story and wanted to publish it. Clara was over the moon. She called Benjamin immediately to share the news. Ben, they're going to publish my book, Clara exclaimed, her voice trembling with excitement. That's amazing, Clara. I knew you could do it. Benjamin's voice was filled with pride and joy. The following months were a whirlwind. Clara's book, The Journey of Hearts, became a bestseller. Her heartfelt stories resonated with readers, and she received letters from people all over, thanking her for her beautiful tales. Clara's dream was coming true, but amidst her success, she felt a void. She missed Benjamin more than ever. One evening, as she sat by her window, staring at the city lights, Clara made a decision. She packed her bags and took the first train back to Elmsworth. She realized that her dream was not just about writing, it was about sharing her happiness with those she loved. Chapter 4. Homecoming. When Clara arrived in Elmsworth, the village was just as she remembered. The familiar sights and sounds filled her heart with warmth. She made her way to Benjamin's house, her steps quickening with anticipation. Benjamin was in the garden when he saw Clara approaching. His face lit up with joy, and he ran to meet her, lifting her in a tight embrace. Clara, you're back, he exclaimed, his eyes brimming with happiness. I'm back, Ben. I missed you so much, Clara replied, tears of joy streaming down her face. They spent the evening talking and catching up. Clara shared her experiences in the city, and Benjamin listened with rapt attention. They laughed, reminisced, and made new promises for the future. Chapter 5. A New Chapter. Clara decided to stay in Elmsworth, but she didn't give up on her dreams. She continued to write, her stories now enriched with her experiences and the love she felt for her village and her friends. With her newfound success, she was able to set up a small writing studio in Elmsworth, where she wrote her books and even started a writing workshop for aspiring writers in the village. Benjamin, seeing Clara's happiness, felt content. He continued to support her in every way possible, knowing that her joy was his joy. Their bond grew even stronger, and they became an inspiration for everyone in Elmsworth. Years passed, and Clara's fame as a writer grew, but she never forgot the importance of home and the people who loved her. She and Benjamin often took long walks by the riverbank, where it all began, cherishing the simple moments that meant the world to them. Epilogue: The Moral Lesson. The story of Clara and Benjamin teaches us the value of dreams and the importance of staying true to oneself. Clara's journey shows that while chasing our dreams, we must remember the people who support and love us. Fame and success can be fulfilling, but they are even more meaningful when shared with those who matter most. This touching tale reminds us that no matter where life takes us, the bonds of friendship and love are our true treasures. In our pursuit of success, we should never lose sight of the people who stood by us from the beginning. True happiness lies not just in achieving our dreams, but in sharing our journey with those who make our lives richer and more beautiful. The Journey of Regret. In a quaint town nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, lived a boy named Lucas. Lucas was bright and talented, but he had one flaw that overshadowed all his virtues. He didn't value his parents. His father, Mr. Thompson, was a hard-working man who ran a small grocery store, and his mother, Mrs. Thompson, was a kind-hearted woman who devoted her life to her family. Lucas was often rude and dismissive towards them, believing they were out of touch with the modern world. He would snap at his mother for asking simple questions and roll his eyes when his father tried to give him advice. "You just don't understand," was a common refrain in their household. Despite their son's behavior, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson continued to shower Lucas with love and care, hoping he would eventually realize the error of his ways. Chapter 1. The Rebellion. As Lucas entered his teenage years, his disrespect grew. He started hanging out with a group of friends who shared his disdain for authority and parental guidance. They encouraged each other to rebel against their parents, skipping school and engaging in reckless behavior. One evening, Lucas returned home to find his parents waiting for him in the living room. He had missed school that day, and his father had been informed by the principal. "Lucas, we need to talk," Mr. Thompson began, his voice calm but firm. Lucas rolled his eyes and slouched into a chair. "What now?" "Why did you skip school today?" his mother asked, concern etched on her face. "It's none of your business," Lucas snapped. "I'm old enough to make my own decisions." Mr. Thompson took a deep breath. "Lucas, we're worried about you. We want you to have a good future, and that starts with making good choices now." "Whatever," Lucas muttered, storming out of the room. His parents exchanged a worried glance, but they knew they had to be patient. Chapter 2. The Turning Point. One day, Lucas's rebellious streak caught up with him. He and his friends decided to skip school and go joyriding in one of their older brother's cars. As they sped down the road, laughing and blasting music, they didn't notice the sharp turn ahead until it was too late. The car skidded off the road and crashed into a tree. Lucas woke up in the hospital with a broken leg and several bruises. His parents were by his side, their faces etched with worry and relief. "Thank goodness you're okay," his mother whispered, tears streaming down her face. Lucas looked at his parents, a pang of guilt washing over him. He realized how much pain he had caused them with his reckless behavior. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice choked with emotion. Mr. Thompson placed a hand on Lucas's shoulder. "We're just glad you're safe, son." During his recovery, Lucas had plenty of time to reflect on his actions. His parents visited him every day, bringing his favorite books and spending hours talking with him. For the first time, Lucas saw how much they truly cared for him. Chapter 3. The Road to Redemption. When Lucas was finally discharged from the hospital, he returned home with a new perspective. He apologized to his parents for his past behavior and promised to change. His parents, ever forgiving, welcomed his transformation with open arms. Lucas started attending school regularly and even took up a part-time job at his father's grocery store. Working alongside his father, he began to understand the hard work and dedication that went into providing for the family. He developed a newfound respect for his parents and their sacrifices. Mrs. Thompson was overjoyed to see the change in her son. She often found him helping her with chores around the house and even joining her in the kitchen to learn how to cook. Their relationship blossomed into one of mutual respect and love. Chapter 4. A Lesson. Learned years passed, and Lucas grew into a responsible and caring young man. He graduated from college with honors and secured a good job. Throughout his journey, he never forgot the lessons he had learned from his parents. One day, while visiting his parents, Lucas sat them down to express his gratitude. "Mom, Dad," he began, "I owe you everything. I was blind to your love and sacrifices, but you never gave up on me. Thank you for always being there and teaching me the true meaning of family." Mr. Thompson smiled proudly. "We're proud of you, Lucas. You've become the man we always knew you could be." Epilogue. The moral lesson. Lucas's story teaches us the importance of valuing and respecting our parents. His journey from rebellion to redemption highlights how love and patience can heal even the deepest wounds. The lesson is clear. Our parents' guidance and sacrifices are often the foundations upon which our futures are built. Disrespecting them not only hurts them but also deprives us of the wisdom and support that can shape our lives for the better. In our daily lives, we should cherish our parents, appreciate their efforts, and show them the respect they deserve. The bonds of family are precious, and understanding this can lead to a more fulfilling and harmonious life. In a time long forgotten, nestled between the realms of heaven and earth, there existed a land called Seraphi. Seraphi was a place of unparalleled beauty and harmony, where the boundaries between the divine and mortal were almost imperceptible. Here, angels and humans lived side by side, sharing wisdom and love, guided by the principles of unity and compassion. The ruler of Seraphi was the wise and benevolent Archangel Michael. Under his guidance, the land flourished, and its inhabitants thrived in peace and prosperity. Among the people of Seraphi was a young boy named Aidan. Aidan was known for his kindness and curiosity, often spending his days exploring the wondrous landscapes and engaging in conversations with the angels. Aidan's parents, Eli and Mara, were humble farmers who had always instilled in him the values of kindness, humility, and respect. They often spoke to him about the delicate balance between heaven and earth, emphasizing the importance of maintaining harmony in Seraphi. Aidan, with his golden hair and bright, inquisitive eyes, was beloved by all who knew him. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky with hues of pink and gold, Aidan sat by the riverbank, lost in thought. He pondered the tales his parents had told him about the ancient times when Seraphi was first created, a time when the celestial and terrestrial realms were separated by a thin veil. Aidan dreamed of discovering the secrets that lay beyond the known boundaries, of understanding the true nature of heaven and earth. Chapter 2. The Divine Calling. As Aidan grew older, his curiosity about the divine realms intensified. He spent hours in the grand library of Seraphi, poring over ancient texts and scrolls that spoke of the creation of the universe and the interconnectedness of all life. The more he learned, the stronger his desire became to bridge the gap between heaven and earth, to find a way to bring even greater harmony to his beloved land. One fateful night, as Aidan was studying under the soft glow of a candle, he felt a gentle breeze brush against his face. Looking up, he saw a figure bathed in ethereal light standing before him. It was Archangel Michael. Aiden, Michael said in a voice that resonated with warmth and wisdom, your heart is pure and your intentions noble. You have been chosen for a divine mission. The balance between heaven and earth is threatened, and only someone with your courage and compassion can restore it. Aiden listened intently as Michael explained the gravity of the situation. The veil between heaven and earth was weakening, and the harmony that had long existed in Seraphi was at risk. Dark forces, envious of the unity and peace in Seraphi, sought to exploit this weakness and bring chaos to the land. To restore the balance, Michael continued, you must embark on a journey to the sacred mountains of Lumina, where the ancient tree of life stands. There, you will find the key to strengthening the veil and preserving the harmony of Seraphi. But be warned, the path is fraught with danger, and you will need great courage and faith to succeed. With a mixture of excitement and apprehension, Aiden accepted the divine mission. He knew the journey ahead would be challenging, but his resolve to protect Seraphi and its people gave him strength. Early the next morning, with his parents' blessings and the support of his friends, Aiden set out on his quest. Chapter 3. The Journey Begins. Aiden's journey to the sacred mountains of Lumina was not an easy one. The path led him through dense forests, across treacherous rivers and over steep cliffs. Along the way, he encountered various creatures, both kind and malevolent. His encounters with these beings tested his bravery, wisdom, and compassion. In the heart of the Whispering Woods, Aiden met a wise old owl named Orion. Orion had lived for centuries and possessed vast knowledge about the natural world and its mystical secrets. Recognizing Aiden's noble quest, Orion decided to accompany him, offering guidance and protection. "Young one," Orion said, his eyes gleaming with ancient wisdom, "the journey ahead will test your spirit in ways you cannot yet imagine. But remember, true strength comes from within, and the bonds of friendship and love will guide you through the darkest of times." With Orion by his side, Aiden felt more confident. They traveled together, sharing stories and learning from each other. Orion taught Aiden about the delicate balance of nature, the interconnectedness of all living beings, and the importance of humility and respect. As they ventured deeper into the wilderness, they encountered a band of rogue spirits led by a dark entity named Malachar. Malachar sought to disrupt Aiden's mission and plunge Seraphi into chaos. Using his dark powers, Malachar conjured illusions and traps to deter Aiden from reaching his destination. One evening, as Aiden and Orion rested by a campfire, Malachar appeared before them, shrouded in darkness. "Foolish boy," Malachar hissed, "you think you can restore the balance? You are but a mere mortal, powerless against the forces of darkness." Aiden stood firm, his heart filled with determination. "I may be mortal, but I have the strength of my convictions and the support of my friends. You will not stop me from fulfilling my mission." With Orion's guidance, Aiden navigated Malachar's traps and illusions, relying on his inner strength and the wisdom he had gained. Though the journey was arduous, each challenge he overcame brought him closer to understanding the true nature of his mission and the power of unity and love. Chapter 4. The Sacred Mountains of Lumina. After weeks of travel, Aiden and Orion finally reached the sacred mountains of Lumina. The air was crisp and pure, and the peaks glowed with an otherworldly light. At the heart of the mountains stood the majestic tree of life, its branches stretching towards the heavens, adorned with shimmering leaves that glowed with a golden hue. As Aiden approached the tree, he felt a profound sense of peace and reverence. The tree of life was the source of all creation, its roots connecting heaven and earth, its branches representing the endless possibilities of existence. "Welcome, Aiden," a gentle voice echoed from the tree. It was the voice of the guardian of the tree, an ethereal being named Seraphina. You have journeyed far and faced many trials to reach this sacred place. Your courage and compassion have brought you here. Aiden bowed respectfully. Guardian Seraphina, I seek the key to restoring the balance between heaven and earth. The veil is weakening, and Seraphi is in danger. Seraphina smiled warmly. The key you seek lies within the essence of the tree of life. But to access it, you must first prove your worthiness. You must undergo the trial of the heart, a test that will reveal the true strength of your spirit. Aiden nodded, ready to face the trial. Seraphina guided him to a clearing where the trial would take place. The trial of the heart was a test of his inner virtues, requiring him to confront his deepest fears and insecurities, to demonstrate his capacity for love, forgiveness, and selflessness. As the trial began, Aiden found himself in a series of visions. He saw the faces of those he loved, moments of joy and sorrow, and the consequences of his actions. He was confronted with choices that challenged his values and tested his resolve. Through each vision, Aiden remained true to his principles, guided by the teachings of his parents and the wisdom he had gained on his journey. In the final vision, Aiden stood before Malachar, who taunted him with visions of failure and despair. "You cannot succeed, Aiden," Malachar sneered. "The darkness is too powerful. Give up now, and you will be spared the pain of defeat." But Aiden's heart remained steadfast. "I will not give up. I believe in the power of love and unity. No darkness can extinguish the light within." With those words, the visions dissipated, and Aiden found himself back in the clearing. Seraphina approached him, her eyes filled with pride. "You have passed the trial of the heart, Aiden. Your spirit is strong, and your heart is pure. You are worthy of the key to restoring the balance." Chapter 5. The Return to Seraphi. With the crystal in hand, Aiden and Orion began their journey back to Seraphi. The path was fraught with new challenges, but Aiden's resolve was unshakable. He knew that the fate of his homeland depended on him. As they neared Seraphi, they encountered Malachar once more. The dark entity was determined to stop Aiden from completing his mission. "This ends now, Aiden," Malachar snarled. "You will not restore the balance." Aiden stood tall, the crystal glowing in his hand. "Your darkness has no power over me, Malachar. Love and unity will always prevail." With a surge of courage, Aiden raised the crystal, and a brilliant light enveloped him and Orion. The light dispelled the darkness, forcing Malachar to retreat. The crystal's energy flowed through Aiden, imbuing him with the strength of the Tree of Life. As they entered Seraphi, the land was in turmoil. The weakening veil had caused chaos, and the people were fearful. Aiden knew he had to act quickly. He made his way to the central plaza, where a grand fountain stood. The fountain was a symbol of Seraphi's unity, its waters representing the connection between heaven and earth. Aiden placed the crystal in the fountain, and a radiant light burst forth, spreading throughout the land. The crystal's energy flowed through Seraphi, strengthening the veil and restoring harmony. The people watched in awe as the land was bathed in a golden glow and the chaos subsided. The angels and humans rejoiced, their hearts filled with gratitude and hope. Chapter 6. The Legacy of Unity. Aiden's bravery and selflessness had saved Seraphi. The people hailed him as a hero, and Archangel Michael himself commended Aiden for his unwavering dedication to the principles of love and unity. "You have done a great service to Seraphi, Aiden," Michael said, his voice filled with pride. "Your actions have not only restored the balance, but have also strengthened the bond between heaven and earth." Aiden humbly accepted the praise, knowing that his journey was a testament to the power of compassion and unity. He continued to serve as a guardian of Seraphi, using his experiences to teach others about the importance of love, respect, and harmony. As the years passed, Seraphi flourished under Aiden's guidance. The people of the land, inspired by his example, worked together to maintain the delicate balance between the celestial and terrestrial realms. Aiden's legacy lived on, a beacon of hope and unity for generations to come. Epilogue. The moral lesson. The story of Aiden teaches us that the true strength of a person lies not in their physical power, but in the purity of their heart and the strength of their spirit. It reminds us that love, compassion, and unity are the most powerful forces in the universe, capable of overcoming even the darkest of challenges. In our daily lives, we should strive to embody these virtues, treating others with kindness and respect, and working together to create a harmonious and compassionate world. By valuing the bonds that connect us and nurturing the light within, we can build a bridge between heaven and earth, fostering a legacy of love and unity that will endure for generations. A man had 2 kids and a beautiful wife. Every day he would come home late from work, very tired and angry. Before he could undress, his wife will quickly tell him how the kids were always playing and refuse to do their homeworks. He will pull their ears hard, but he always buys them gifts. Before they wake up in the morning, he would be off for work again. The kids grew scared of their father. Whenever he comes home, they would hide in their rooms. One day, it was Father's Day. The kids were asked to invite their dads to school. On that day, they were told to write a short letter to their dad, and they would read it aloud. One said, "I love you, Dad. Thanks for the new shoe yesterday." Another said, "Dad, you're the best storyteller." Then the boy, knowing his dad will never come, poured out his heart. "Dad, I know you work so hard to provide for us. I just wish you could play with me and my sister. It will be more than any gift in the world. Please don't always be angry. I love you, Dad." The man was crying amidst the crowd. He had planned to surprise his kids, but has just learned that spending time with his children was more valuable than all the money he could bring. A 9-year-old boy is in class at his desk, shocked to find his pants wet, is scared of his classmates' reaction. He prays to God for help. Just as the teacher approaches, his classmate Grace, carrying a goldfish bowl filled with water, trips and accidentally dumps it on his lap. The boy pretends to be angry but whispers to himself, "Thank you, Lord." Suddenly, instead of being the object of ridicule, the boy is the object of sympathy. The teacher takes him out and gives him shorts to wear while his pants dry out. At the end of the day, as they are waiting for the bus, the boy walks over to Grace and whispers, "You did that intentionally, didn't you?" Grace whispers back, "I have been in your shoe before." The moral lesson from this story is empathy and acts of kindness can significantly alleviate others' distress and transform difficult situations into supportive experiences. If you are not following me, we'll probably never see each other again. In a small village, a boy with a bad temper frequently used hurtful words, worrying his parents. Despite their advice, his temper didn't improve. His father then gave him a bag of nails, instructing him to hammer one into the fence whenever he got angry. On the first day, the boy hammered 30 nails, but over time he managed to reduce this number. Eventually, he learned to control his anger and stopped hammering nails altogether. His father then asked him to remove a nail each day he remained calm. Some nails could not be removed, leaving holes in the fence. His father explained that these holes represented the lasting damage of his hurtful words. The boy realized that while he could control his temper, the scars of his past words remained. The moral is that unkind words cause lasting damage. Let our words be kind and sweet. If you are not following me, we'll probably never see each other again. A subject teacher entered the classroom and found the chair he was going to sit on hung from the ceiling. Instead of getting angry or upset, he looked at the students and smiled without saying a word. He then proceeded to the board and wrote, "Test. 15 minutes, 30 marks, Q1. Calculate the distance between the chair and the floor in centimeters. 1 mark. Q2. Calculate the angle of inclination of the chair to the ceiling. Show your workings. 1 mark. Q3. Write the name of the student who hung the chair to the ceiling and the friends who helped him. 28 marks. The moral is that life will present us with unexpected challenges, and it is our response, creativity, and honesty in dealing with these challenges that define our character and growth. Facing difficulties with a positive mindset and integrity will help us overcome any obstacle. Additionally, understanding and taking responsibility for our actions is crucial for personal development and future success. If you are not following me, we'll probably not see each other again. There was a man named Jack and his cherished cat, Mittens. They shared a bond stronger than steel, their days filled with laughter and love. Jack fell ill and died, promising Mittens they'd reunite in the afterlife. Grief-stricken, Mittens joined Jack soon after. Upon arriving at what they thought was Heaven's Gate, Jack was granted entry, but Mittens was not allowed to join him. Heartbroken, Jack couldn't fathom the idea of paradise without his dear friend. Refusing to leave Mittens behind, Jack journeyed on, guided by love and determination. Eventually, they stumbled upon another gate, where they were both welcomed with open arms. Entering together, they discovered a breathtaking garden bathed in golden light. Though initially confused, Jack and Mittens reveled in their newfound joy of being together once more. Curious, Jack inquired about the first gate they encountered and was shocked to learn it led to hell. It was a test of his selflessness, and he passed with flying colors by choosing to stay with Mittens. Love conquers all. Prioritizing others over ourselves leads to genuine happiness. In a lively town, a talented young painter named Leo created his most beautiful painting and sought feedback. He placed it in the city square with a note. If you find any faults, please circle them. The next day, Leo found his painting covered in circles, indicating mistakes. Heartbroken, he felt he had failed as an artist. His wise mother suggested trying again, but this time changing the note to, "If you find any faults, please correct them." Skeptical but hopeful, Leo followed her advice. The following day, Leo returned to the square. To his amazement, the painting was untouched. No circles, no corrections. It was as flawless as he had left it. His mother explained, "It's easy for people to find fault, but much harder to correct those faults. Don't be disheartened by criticism. Not everyone who points out a flaw can do better." Moral lesson. It's easy to criticize, but much harder to correct. Trust your abilities and don't let others' opinions diminish your passion and confidence. If you are not following me, we'll probably not see each other again. Alex, a gifted inventor with a passion for motorcycles, built his first bike and showed it to his friends. They dismissed it, saying it wasn't nice. Heartbroken but determined, Alex created a more modern bike, only to face the same rejection. Undeterred, he built an even bigger and more expensive motorcycle, yet his friends' reactions remained unchanged. Feeling defeated, Alex gave his bikes to a dealer for little or no cost. Weeks later, Alex visited the dealer and was stunned to find a crowd admiring his bikes. People were taking pictures and praising his craftsmanship. The dealer offered him a contract to be their chief bike creator. Alex realized that his friends' opinions didn't define the value of his work. Life lesson. Believe in your dreams and talents, even if others don't recognize them. Persevere and stay true to your passion, as your dedication will eventually be recognized by those who truly appreciate it. Success often comes from trusting yourself and continuing despite setbacks. Sam and Tom, identical twins, differed greatly in personality. Sam was friendly and loved sweets, while Tom was greedy, selfish, and preferred spicy food. Their father decided to divide his wealth based on a walking competition's results, with the distance covered determining the share. On the competition day, Sam walked steadily, planning to turn back at noon to ensure he returned before sunset. Tom, driven by greed, walked much farther, hoping to secure a larger share. Ignoring the time, Tom only turned back when the sun began to set. Despite his efforts, Tom couldn't make it home before dark, while Sam returned on time. Tom's greed caused him to lose the competition and a fair share of the inheritance. This story illustrates a valuable lesson for life. Moderation and careful planning often lead to success, while greed and impatience can result in failure and loss. By understanding our limits and managing our ambitions wisely, we can achieve our goals without falling victim to the pitfalls of excessive desire. Greed, ultimately, leads to loss. Once upon a time, there was a hungry fox. No matter how hard he tried, he could not find food. Finally, he went to the edge of the forest and searched there. Suddenly, he caught sight of a big tree with a hole in it. Inside the hole was a package. The hungry fox immediately thought there might be food in it and became very happy. He jumped into the hole. When he opened the package, he saw slices of bread, meat, and fruit. An old woodcutter had placed the food in the tree trunk before he began cutting down trees in the forest. He was going to eat it for his lunch. The fox happily began to eat. After he finished eating, he felt thirsty and decided to leave the hole and drink some water from a nearby spring. However, no matter how hard he tried, he could not get out of the hole. The fox had eaten so much food that he became too big to fit through the hole. The fox was very sad and upset. He told himself, "I wish I had thought a little before jumping into the hole." Morale: think before you act to avoid regret. Remember to be good. If you can't be good, be careful. If you are not following me, we'll probably not see each other again. Once upon a time, a cunning and mischievous fox lived in the forest. He spoke sweetly to other animals to gain their trust, and then played tricks on them. One day, he met a stork and pretended to be her friend. He invited the stork to a feast, and she happily accepted. On the day of the feast, the stork went to the fox's house. To her surprise, the fox only offered some soup in a shallow bowl. The stork, with her long bill, couldn't drink the soup, but the fox easily licked it up. When the fox asked if she liked the soup, the stork politely lied, saying she had a stomach issue and couldn't eat. The stork then invited the fox to her house for dinner. When the day arrived, the fox visited her home. The stork served soup in a narrow jar with a long neck, which she could easily drink with her bill. The fox, unable to drink the soup, felt ashamed remembering his own trick. He made an excuse about a tummy ache and quickly left. Moral: one bad turn begets another. Mahatma Gandhi, honored as the father of India, was a very special person. Mahatma Gandhi, honored as the father of India, is celebrated for his great soul, as illustrated by this story. While on an expedition to collect funds for the poor, Gandhi reached Orissa and organized a public meeting. After his speech requesting donations, an old woman in tattered clothing approached him, despite resistance from volunteers. She touched Gandhi's feet and placed a copper coin at his feet, then left. Gandhi carefully picked up the coin. When the organization's treasurer asked for it, Gandhi refused, explaining its true value. Unlike wealthy donors who give a small part of their wealth, the old woman gave all she had. Her act of giving everything she possessed, despite her own dire circumstances, made the copper coin immensely valuable to Gandhi. This story emphasizes that offering help when we have very little is far more meaningful. Stay blessed and be good. If you can't be good, be careful. If you are not following me, you'll probably not see me again. Once upon a time, a man and his wife owned a goose that laid a golden egg every day. Despite their good fortune, they grew impatient and felt they were not getting rich quickly enough. They reasoned that if the goose could lay golden eggs, its insides must be made of gold. Thinking they could obtain all the gold at once, they decided to kill the goose. To their dismay, they found the goose's innards were just like any other birds, and they had destroyed their source of daily wealth. The moral of the story is to think before you act. This tale is the origin of the proverb, "Kill not the goose that lays golden eggs," meaning that greed and impatience can lead to the loss of a steady, valuable source of benefit. For instance, young Johnny had a generous uncle who gave him 5 cents every time they met. Greedy for more, Johnny asked his uncle for $50 to buy a bike. Angered by Johnny's attitude, the uncle refused and stopped giving him even the 5 cents. Johnny's greed caused him to lose the small but consistent gifts he used to receive. The story teaches that discontentment and greed can lead to unhappiness and regret, emphasizing the value of appreciating what one has. Quick question. How come a friend of a rich man is not necessarily a rich man, but a friend of a thief is considered a thief? Do you understand this logic? Puzzle. 5 boys are sitting on a tree. One decides to jump off. How many are left on the tree? By the way, 4 is wrong. Can you tell me why? Comment your answer and reason in the comment section. This will probably be our last time together if you are not subscribed. Please come back and visit my channel again. One day, a man saw a cocoon with a tiny opening. It meant that the butterfly was trying to make its way out to enjoy the world. He decided to watch how the butterfly would come out of the cocoon. He watched the butterfly struggling to break the shell for several hours. Unfortunately, even after continuous attempts for several hours, there was no progress. The man decided to help the butterfly. The butterfly emerged without any struggle. Unfortunately, the butterfly looked no longer beautiful and had a swollen body with small and withered wings. The man was happy that he had made the butterfly come out of the cocoon without any more struggles. He thought that at any time the butterfly might expand its wings, shrink the body and the wings, and fly. Unfortunately, nothing happened. The butterfly just crawled around with withered wings and a huge body. it was never able to fly. Although the man did it with a good intention, he did not know that only by going through struggles the butterfly can emerge to be beautiful with strong wings. If we don't want to undergo any struggle, we won't be able to fly. Struggles make us shine. Long ago, people lived happily under the rule of a king. The people of the kingdom were very happy as they led a very prosperous life with an abundance of wealth and no misfortunes. Once, the king decided to go visiting places of historical importance and pilgrim centers at distant places. He decided to travel by foot to interact with his people. People of distant places were very happy to have a conversation with their king. They were proud that their king had a kind heart. After several weeks of travel, the king returned to the palace. He was quite happy that he had visited many pilgrim centers and witnessed his people leading a prosperous life. However, he had one regret. He had intolerable pain in his feet, as it was his first trip by foot covering a long distance. He complained to his ministers that the roads weren't comfortable and that they were very stony. He could not tolerate the pain. He said that he was very much worried about the people who had to walk along those roads, as it would be painful for them too. Considering all this, he ordered his servants to cover the roads in the whole country with leather so that the people of his kingdom can walk comfortably. The king's ministers were stunned to hear his order, as it would mean that thousands of cows would have to be slaughtered in order to get sufficient quantity of leather, and it would cost a huge amount of money also. Finally, a wise man from the ministry came to the king and said that he had another idea. The king asked what the alternative was. The minister said, "Instead of covering the roads with leather, why don't you just have a piece of leather cut in appropriate shape to cover your feet?" The king was very much surprised by his suggestion and applauded the wisdom of the minister. He ordered a pair of leather shoes for himself and requested all his countrymen also to wear shoes. Moral: instead of trying to change the world, we should try to change ourselves. If you are not following me, we'll probably not see each other again. And don't forget to be good. If you can't be good, be careful. A boy often arrived late to school, facing the wrath of his strict teacher, Mrs. Smith. She wielded her wooden ruler like a sword, ready to strike any tardy student. Jack's small frame trembled daily under her anger. One day, fed up, Mrs. Smith followed Jack home. She discovered his secret, a frail grandmother, bedridden and in pain, whom Jack tenderly cared for each morning. Mrs. Smith's stern heart melted as she watched Jack feed and comfort his grandmother, realizing his lateness stemmed from love, not laziness. The next day, instead of scolding Jack, Mrs. Smith embraced him, whispering, "Jack, my dear, you don't need to hide your struggles. We're here for you." From then on, she supported Jack, giving him extra time for assignments, and the students welcomed him with smiles. Behind every tardy step lies a story untold, and compassion bridges the gap between rules and understanding. Let kindness be our compass, guiding us to brighter tomorrows. If you stay in bed, if you stay on the couch, if you stay in your comfort zone, if you only do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, if you get up, if you grind, if you are relentless, and if you work as hard as possible when other people are slacking off, your life will be easy. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. You only have two choices. Number 1, accept the situation. Number 2, change the situation. What's your take? If you're not following me, you'll probably never see me again.
Kids, neighbors, and even his friends due to anger. His friends and neighbors avoided him, and his parents were really worried about him. His mother and father advised him many times to control his anger and develop kindness. Unfortunately, all their attempts failed. Finally, the boy's father came up with an idea. One day, his father gave him a huge bag of nails. He asked his son to hammer one nail to the fence every time he became angry and lost his temper. The little boy found it amusing and accepted the task. Every time he lost his temper, he ran to the fence and hammered a nail. His anger drove him to hammer nails on the fence 30 times on the first day. After the next few days, the number of nails hammered on the fence was reduced to half. The little boy found it very difficult to hammer the nails and decided to control his temper. Gradually, the number of nails hammered to the fence was reduced and the day arrived when no nail was hammered. The boy did not lose his temper at all that day. For the next several days, he did not lose his.
One day, a man saw a cocoon with a tiny opening. It meant that the butterfly was trying to make its way out to enjoy the world. He decided to watch how the butterfly would come out of the cocoon. He watched the butterfly struggling to break the shell for several hours. Unfortunately, even after continuous attempts for several hours, there was no progress. The man decided to help the butterfly. The butterfly emerged without any struggle. Unfortunately, the butterfly looked no longer beautiful and had a swollen body with small and withered wings. The man was happy that he had made the butterfly come out of the cocoon without any more struggles. He thought that at any time the butterfly might expand its wings, shrink the body and the wings, and fly. Unfortunately, nothing happened. The butterfly just crawled around with withered wings and a huge body. It was never able to fly. Although the man did it with a good intention, he did not know that only by going through struggles the butterfly can emerge to be beautiful with strong wings. If we don't want to undergo any struggle, we won't be able to fly. Struggles make us shine. In a prosperous kingdom, a kind king decided to travel on foot to connect with his people. After weeks of journeying, he returned with painful feet due to the rough, stony roads. Concerned for his people's comfort, he proposed covering all the kingdom's roads with leather. His ministers were shocked by the impracticality and high cost of this idea. A wise minister suggested an alternative. Instead of covering the roads with leather, the king could wear leather shoes to protect his feet. The king was surprised by the simplicity and practicality of this solution. He ordered leather shoes for himself and encouraged his subjects to do the same. The story's moral highlights that instead of trying to change the world, we should focus on changing ourselves. This approach is often more practical and effective in solving problems.